Well, what on earth is going on at Odeon? In recent weeks, several new and forthcoming films are completely disappearing from the schedules, despite being advertised well in advance. I'm currently paying £15 a month for Odeon Limitless. Previously, I did the minimum 3 months with Cineworld Unlimited, and I keep meaning to make a video about that, as well as the utter shambles of their head office customer service. But first, I need to stick it to Odeon, because they are dropping the ball on multiple occasions. Some of the following films, not the ones you see on screen but the 6 I'm about to go through, have been scheduled as previews, but even then some have later been dropped. So there were previews or limitless screenings for Bottoms and Anatomy of a Fall, with the films completely disappearing before they get to a regular screening. Plus, I've been going to a lot less of these screenings, as it's easier for me to just watch several films in one day at the weekend rather than see one less and make an extra trip during the week, if that same preview is just a few days before the official release date. Since starting Limitless in September, twice I've seen 4 films in one day, and on one occasion 5. They were The Old Oak, a nice double bill of Paw Patrol and Saw X, then The Creator, and The Exorcist Director's Cut. And I managed to schedule them all to the point where I went straight from one to the other with a maximum of about 10 minutes before the start times of the actual films. So on arrival to a new screen, there was just enough time to pay a visit before settling down to watch the actual movie. I understand that this is an issue between Odeon and Warner Brothers, although I'm not sure of the exact issues with each individual film, since not everyone is showing as being linked to Warner Brothers on IMDb. So before I get to the list of films being missed out, what can you actually go to see at the moment? Well, let's just start at the bottom and then we'll go up. So these are largely films which have been out for weeks already. And, The Creator, overhyped tosh. The Great Escaper, it was good but not brilliant. The final film for Michael Caine, as well as, of course, Glenda Jackson. Some Otherhood, Paw Patrol the Mighty Movie, well, Oscar material of course. Trolls Banter Together, that's one I've actually not seen. I don't think I could sit through that. Taylor Swift, like all sort of event cinema films, it's not included in Limitless, so they're just going to charge you 20 quid for that anyway. I don't need spend 20 quid to go and see Taylor Swift, thank you very much. Killers of the Flower Moon, very good but very long at 3.5 hours. Five Nights at Freddy, utter disappointment. Japan, another of these Indian films which are just getting shown on multiple screens in multiple languages. Why? Why not just show them in one language and put subtitles on for the others? I don't even know whether you'd get it in English subtitles, so if I went to go and see it, would I have absolutely any idea what was going on? They've got more event cinema with Dolly Parton and Skylight. No idea. Tiger 3, another Indian film. And one of these films always seem to go on for about 3 hours either. Maria Callas, no thanks. Madagascar, well, yeah, great. So there's 6 films I'm about to mention. You can't see them, but you can go see Madagascar too. Great. Gigant, exactly. The Marvels. Well, I will go and see that, but I'm not massively looking forward to it. But Jesus, there's nothing else on. So let's get to the films where we're missing out. Bottoms. You can go see Bottoms. Well, you could go and see it at Cineworld for a week before it disappeared. It seems to have had good word of mouth, but I saw it and I just I mean I saw it last weekend. I'm still waiting for it to start, and the synopsis says 2 unpopular queer high school students start a fight club to have sex before graduation. Why do you need to make it a thing? We've got to mention that they're queer. Why? Do I go and see straight films and then just say, oh wow, what an amazing straight comedy film that was? No, I do not. It was disappointing, Tosh. What's next? How to Have Sex. Don't ask me. I had no idea what they were talking about for the 91 minutes, and I hid my eyes behind my hands, on the off chance that I might see a lady's part and faint. Of course not. I know what was going on. Haha. it had a point to make, I guess, but it was kind of taking a long time to get to the point and then kind of meandered towards a conclusion rather than deliver anything substantial. Probably set off with to deliver more than it actually, it sort of promised more than it actually delivered. Anyway, to both Bottoms and that, I had to go and see at Cineworld last weekend. But yeah, I'll come to that. Dream Scenario, a new film with Nicolas Cage, where people just end up dreaming about him. This looked brilliant from the trailer, and the thing is, all these films have been trailed several times at Odeon, but yet they're not showing them. It's just bloody stupid. Anatomy of a Fall looks okay, but you know the fact that it's 2.5 hours, so sounds like a he's not very well, is he? Sounds like a sort of decent time for a pot boiler. It sounds like it could be good. So yeah, I'd go and see that, but they're not bloody showing it. Saltburn, Barry Keoghan. How can you say no? Apart from the absolute mess of the last season of what was it? Name's going out of my bloody head. Top Boy, of course. Yeah, I'm so looking forward to that because the rest of it's been great. And it was just what else? So anyway, that's coming out next weekend, but not at Odeon. And finally, yeah, I didn't want to show this one, the trailer. Thanksgiving, Eli Roth. Exactly. Yeah, lots of blood, lots of gore. Looks great. That's been trailed at Odeon as well. Is it being shown? Of course not. Utterly bloody ridiculous. So Odeon, you're turning into an utter embarrassment. You're dropping at least 2 films a week and not bothering to respond when anyone calls you out on social media. I feel sorry for any members of staff who are having to take the questions about this in cinema and presumably not being allowed to say anything either. The only saving grace slightly is that if you're on 3, you can get a ticket at Cineworld for just £3 for any standard film performance for Friday, Saturday or Sunday. And then of course if you have 2 phone sims, you can have 2 of them. So, as I said, last weekend I went there to go and watch Bottoms and Sex. Haha, for now. But then if I do that for all 6, that's £18. Yeah, as I say, Limitless is £15. So £18. I mean, these are all films which should be included in the regular Limitless anyway. And I'm spending more than that on just seeing these damn films. Well, yeah, all in the space of 3 weeks it could be. And I was just lucky that these 2 films could be watched back to back. This weekend they've got Dream Scenario and Anatomy of a Fall, but if I wanted to watch both back to back, I'd be waiting 75 minutes for the second film. Whoever does the scheduling needs their head read. As for the cost of Limitless, it's £15 a month. You can also upgrade to Limitless Plus, but that's £18 a month. And the only extras you get are 3D films and premiere seats. At least where I go anyway. But in some of the screens, they have 0 premiere seats, because they've all been replaced by new seats of a similar material. The rest of the screens are all still run down and haven't been touched in years. They're just ropey as bloody hell. As for 3D, there are barely any 3D films anymore. The only live action 3D movie this year has been Meg 2, and that was appalling in 3D, because any film with fast cutting between parts of a scene doesn't suit 3D, because your eyes don't have time to get used to it before what's on screen changes again. Now where I go, Trafford Centre, doesn't have iSense, which would otherwise be included, but it's like Cineworld's Super Screen, which is just a larger screen. Well, sit closer then. As for IMAX and Dolby, these still cost extra. I think it's £5 for IMAX and £4 for Dolby, might be £3 for Dolby, I'm not quite sure, but either way, that's no use for Limitless Plus. My 3 months minimum term at Odeon is coming to an end in early December. Will I be extending it, or taking out the annual offer that I understand comes around once every Christmas time? They're making it hard to say yes, because whoever's in charge of this stupidity is depriving a village of an idiot. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Please like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already, click on the bell for all the notifications, and cue Genesis.